Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I've been trying to shoot this video for a number of days, probably a couple weeks. But due to having a newborn, it's been difficult for me. But I felt like it was important to talk about this. I don't talk about race on my channel. I try and keep it light and fluffy because my channel is beauty, fashion, lifestyle, stuff I love, stuff I don't. Normally don't talk about stuff I don't love, but the idea of my channel isn't based on race. I talked about race once when my husband and I went to Japan last year. That's about it. But today I felt it was needful to talk about it because it's not just something that affects Black people. This affects everyone. You know, watching the video of George Floyd basically being murdered on video, that's what happened. And how comfortable the police officer was just sitting there and others standing by was the worst feeling of injustice and inhumane thing, one of them that I've ever seen. And people not understanding the Black Lives Matter movement, thinking that it is either a political party or a group of opportunists who are looting. No, it's a movement about Black lives mattering too, or also, or it's not about tipping the scale of, oh, we're going to be on top and we want to, no, it's about equality. It's about treating humans the same, not one higher than the other, not one being more afraid to go out than the other. I'm not going to lie to you. I, as a Black woman, have not experienced a lot of racism in my life. But let me tell you something. When my husband and I moved to a particular city that for some reason I was experiencing racism at least once a week. And the moment you're afraid when your husband leaves the house because he's Black in a nice car and praying and hoping that, okay, hey, don't go over speed limit, just don't play music too loud, you're in your car. Just don't get pulled over by the police, because here in that city, there was quite a bit of just racism there. Let's just call it we can call it bias. We can use pretty words such as, oh, well, they seem to be suspicious, or I was a little afraid. No, it's racism. There's a lot of racism there. I experienced it at least once a week, and I had never experienced that level of just blatant racism. The only way to move forward is to change laws, change things. Hey, look, yeah, chokeholds aren't okay. Laying on someone's neck with your knee is not okay. And to disproportionately do this to Black people, it's not okay. And we as Black people are saying it's not okay. And allies in white people are saying it's not okay either. I think it's important to be mindful that this is not a Black issue. This is not a minority issue. This is a human rights issue, and it takes everybody. So I think people forget, the civil rights movement happened. How did Jim Crow go away? Black people just couldn't make that happen. Who had to sign that into law? Who needs to be marching out there with us? It's important to understand that working together is the only way things get changed. And that's just the truth. Ignorance is not bliss. As a black woman, I've learned how to maneuver my way through America. And I mentioned that I'll put my video on being black in Japan because it was so eye-opening for me and my husband. That when people interacted with us, that they didn't have a bias against us first because we were black in Japan. Mind-blowing. And so I had to change my own self up while I was there, and there was so much freedom to be my entire whole self. Whereas here in America, as black people, you have to be mindful what you can do, what you cannot do. I'm from Michigan, growing up in Michigan, and I understood that I had a friend who lived, there used to be I don't know if there still is, but there used to be a KKK headquarters there. And I went to visit, and he goes, oh yeah, he had a party, and I was leaving his house late from the party, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to drive you to the freeway. I was like, oh no, I'm good. He goes, no, just to make sure. That type of stuff. Not because, oh, I'm a woman and you want to make sure I don't get stranded. No, because I'm black. And if you get pulled over or you get lost and you can't just ask someone for directions, I want to make sure that it's not supposed to be around here anymore. What's not supposed to be around here? Racism. But I want to make sure you get back to the freeway and that you get home, that you make it home. And racism is everywhere. And I'm just talking about the black American experience. And this is just my experience. Just because I haven't experienced a ton of racism doesn't mean I don't know other black men and women who experience it on a daily basis, all the time. So as even black people and people of color, to not deny someone else's experience, including white people, because that's not your experience, and you didn't, hey, you know what? I didn't see it, so it didn't happen. But now we do see it. We have cameras on our phones. We see it all the time now. And no one can deny that it's not happening. I was watching something. I'll put some things in the description box of things that may be helpful to you to see through the eyes of minorities. I keep saying black people and minorities, or minorities, because this is called Black Lives Matter movement per se. But black lives, brown people in general, they don't know if you're black or biracial or, Latino, or you're a brown person. And that puts a bullseye on you. And that's just the truth. But Jane Elliott's blue-eyed, brown-eyed experiment, I saw it years ago, but YouTube recommended it to me again, and I watched it again, and it was just, if you don't understand racism, watch that. And then I watched something else that was recommended by Dr. DiAngelo. I don't remember, I think it's Robin DiAngelo. I'll put that in the description as well. But she used a quote and said that racism is not an event, it's a system put in place. And it's not her quote, but she quoted someone else. And I was like, that's so poignant, because it goes with the Black Lives Matter movement. That's why it's important. And the day I have to explain to my little girl here what it means to be a black woman in America, I don't want to have that conversation. I shouldn't have to have that conversation. The conversation I should be having with her is, hey, This is how you succeed. This is how you be a good person. This is how you treat people. Treat people the way you want to be treated. But no, I have to have the race conversation with her. Now, I don't have to have the conversation if I hit a boy. That's a completely different conversation. And it's a scary conversation. That, at 12, black boys are now seen as scary? Watching Dr. DiAngelo's, I forget what it's called. I'll put it down in the description. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't come here with any notes because I just wanted to speak just from my heart. The idea that by the age of 3, kids know that it's better to be white made me so sad. At three, you're supposed to just be a kid, be happy, be free, not thinking about race and how it's better to be white because everything that's coming in their framework is white is better, white is right, black is dirty, black is bad, which isn't true. This is all a system. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about it and that this matters. And specifically, Black Lives Matter. So, I hope that was informative some, or that we all can have a discussion in the comment section. But I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening.